Hi guys, how's it going? We've got a really strange bit of news that dropped just now, and I'm hesitant to even call it news because it's just kind of nothing, it's speculation. If you haven't seen, the domain dragonball2018.com was registered on October 14th, and the internet is currently buzzing about what exactly that means, what it could be, and whether it's legitimate. So I figured I'd shed some light on things before they potentially spiral out of control. I'm sure you know how the internet works by this point. So the thing on everyone's lips right now is this a new Dragon Ball movie? And I think to some people that sounds like a really outlandish thing to say just based on nothing but a domain. And I think that's absolutely fair enough. It's great to be skeptical, but let's look at why that's a popular thought right now. Mainly it's to do with the URLs for the past two movies. For example, Battle of Gods was 2013.com and Resurrection F was DragonBall2015.com, and both were registered about a year or so in advance of their release date. Obviously, we don't know what this is or what its release date will be, but at the very least, it follows the patterns for the previous movies. It's worth noting that there was never a Dragon Ball 2014, 2016, or even a 2017 domain registered either, so this isn't a yearly thing. It's not just following some pattern or some guide. The only thing that puts some doubt in my mind about the legitimacy of this is that the 2013 and 2015 domain names were registered openly to Toei Animation, while this 2018 domain has the details withheld. It's all registered through a Japanese website, but of course anyone can do that, so that's not necessarily an indication that it's true or anything. That said, the who is protection, as they call it, isn't necessarily permanent, and I don't have access to all the details on those other domains, so they may well have followed the same pattern, obviously temporarily masking the identity to prevent any sort of confirmation before they were ready to announce things. Unfortunately, it's just not possible to say what this is right now, but at the very least, next year is certainly the right time for another Dragon Ball movie, even if that's probably not the best idea for Super, and really that subject is what I want to tack on to the end of this video, since I appreciate right now this is kind of just a thing happened and we don't know what this means. Yeah, I mean, I told myself I'd never dedicate videos to kind of nothing information like that, but considering everyone's going to be talking about this, I figured I'd lay everything out just so you have all the details and can, make up your own mind, and it's just something for us to talk about, really. So as far as making a film while a TV show is in production goes, that's not the easiest thing in the world. Typically you'll find that, with few exceptions, the staff working on your TV series are also the same guys that do end up contributing to the film. We saw this the other way around back in 2015. A good chunk of the Battle of Gods and Resurrection F staff came across to Super in some capacity, and they're all still here now working away. So that does mean the show will probably suffer in some way. For example, when One Piece has films and specials in production, you'll see its quality dip as the schedule becomes more strained. Episodes will be far more conservative, and you may even see clear results on screen that things aren't quite in tip-top shape. Fortunately for One Piece, their schedule is pretty strong, so their shows haven't suffered too much during these periods. They've got a decent bank of animators who don't work on their shows so regularly, and they're always ready to step in for the big parts of the films. I worry a little bit for Super, since as we know, their schedule isn't the strongest, and although we're in a better place right now, I'm not quite convinced it's capable of holding together while a film is being produced. I think it'll depend very, very heavily on who ends up directing this theoretical film. Really, what kind of staff will they be able to bring to the table to help alleviate that workload? And of course, I think one of the big questions is, will they be willing to work under Tadayoshi Yamamuro? As we know, some animators are not really the biggest fans of him. For more details on that, do make sure you watch my video on Tadayoshi Yamamuro. On the flip side, I have to be honest, I wasn't convinced that Super could handle this current tournament without absolutely falling to pieces. I was so convinced that trying to do action episode after action episode after action episode for like 20 episodes straight was just gonna totally kill the production, because we obviously saw the Future Trunks arc was starting to get very, very strained towards the end there, but I was entirely wrong, and for the most part it's been fine. Obviously they reused some stuff here and there, and there've been some iffy episodes, but considering the quality of the special and the fact that the episode right afterwards didn't totally melt in the same way that 67 did after 66, that's at least reassuring. So hopefully I'm wrong. As I said, if this is another film, fingers crossed that it does turn out okay. I think either way it will be strained, but I'll be very curious to see if it's visibly strained as opposed to just behind the scenes feeling the pressure, if that makes sense. For example, you know how episode 90 was a total clusterfuck of an episode that was just falling to pieces behind the scenes, but the actual episode we got was actually okay. So that's pretty much all I mean by that. That's pretty much all I have to say though. I'm most interested in hearing what you guys would want to see from a film anyway, and whether you actually want one in the first place. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter going, no, I'm okay with just the TV series, that's fine. They're also a little bit like me in that they're scared that a movie is just going to break everything. So let me know how you feel there. Obviously, in terms of story, do you want something like a retelling of the Universe 6 arc, but it's penned by Toriyama completely and has great animation, or would you prefer to see something new, and do you want that something new to be tied into Super in like a canon kind of way? I hate that word. Or would you just prefer for it to be like the old Z films, which were just kind of their own things? Let me know down below. Be sure to drop me a rating if you'd be so kind, and of course, do have a staff roundup in the works. May possibly be a double episode next week, but we shall see. Again, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.